Woohoo! And look at this, man. Mr. He's actually delving into the Deli. I don't know if I've seen Mr. play Deli on Highview before, so this is an interesting one. Remember, we talked about this. This is actually, I think, one of the future usages of the Deli. Puppypaw and Wham really have been leading the way with the utilization of this Civ on Highview. Deli were actually really impressive on Highview. Reason is that, for a start, the Sacred Site spawns are really predictable, so you don't necessarily get screwed over by poor generation. Another thing is that one of them is incredibly well retracted and safe for you to access, and the only time that maybe you're going to get intercepted on the back Sacred Site is up against cavalry-based civs. Outside that, it's more or less a free spawn, and thus 350 gold per minute for you. The one that can get contested is the center one. And what it means is, due to the configuration and the layout, you can just kind of funnel all your attention into the center and not necessarily have to worry about the flank as much. I especially want to see if Mr. agrees with what I've seen Wham and Puppypaw do very frequently on this map with Deli, which is the double TC strat. I actually think it's a really good hybridization of the Deli build orders, especially for a map like Highview, because one of the big risks you have is you're going to be forced to kind of spread out your eco quickly if you want to remain efficient. That means you have to go near these stealth forests, and although TCs can't stay in, they give you a garrison point while also escalating your eco. And eco escalation has definitely been something that a lot of Deli players have been suffering with at the moment, trying to figure out a way forward. But we'll have to see if that's the way he wants to go. Also curious to see if we'll get some Tower Victory. You know, is anyone else like wondering if maybe Mister's going to innovate for us? I think Tower Victory is still underrated. I actually think this is the type of map where you could probably leverage it as well. Just because there's going to be a lot of value out of spears due to the stealth forests, so you can actually get a lot closer to your opponents. The only thing that might deter him is you're up against the roost, so going for spears doesn't feel good. The argument for Tower Victory in that matchup is your opponent is going to mass archers. So if you have archers, which you can't build as many, of course, because the roosts are just better at doing it due to the extra wood they get. If you can actually make each archer you have more efficient, trade should still be reasonably accomplishable for you. We'll see which way it goes, though. Opening up, it looks like he did go for the double scout play, which is logical when you're playing up against the roost. Wait. What am I'm an idiot. I've been saying Mister's... Oh, God, ignore me. Mister is the Roos. Marine Lord is the Deli. My brain sometimes just needs to be put in a jar. And then stood on. We are still getting Mr. Innovation, though. Did you guys glance that important detail a second ago? I very quickly went over it. Mister's got 4 scouts. How very interesting. Why is that interesting? Well, nobody does 4 scouts anymore. Everyone is always doing 3 scouts right now as the Roos. Could this be a pro scouts play? You have my attention, sir. Well, we'll have to see. First of all, we need to see if it's going to be some sort of ball play. He is getting Will Barrett in time, so that does leave him with the option. However, we've seen plenty of times, just because you're getting Will Barrow on the Roos early on doesn't mean you're going to go in for the ball play. And actually, looking at the location of the ball on this map, there's definitely some desirability to doing so. In fact, I think there's a really great TC drop right here near the gold vein and the ball. You pull the ball to the north side, and then you drop a TC on the northern tip of this gold vein, covers the Sacred Site, and also gets you double resource bank. Would be a remarkably effective move for Mister to take. And the cool thing is actually right now, a lot of the time, the Deli play a little bit slow. And hold up! Whoa, 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 what? We're getting it. Marine Lord's in for the Tower Victory. He's convinced. Okay. Now I am very intrigued in this game. On one side, we have Mister going for an extra scout, which could suggest possible pro scouting down the line. On the other side, we've got Tower Victory build from the Deli. Fight. So far, these scouts. Another thing that's going to be annoying is how quickly he can actually force villagers back, actually, because he's got so many scouts. The only worry for me is if Mister does want to go pro scouts, he's just revealed the possibility of that to Marine Lord by showing all 4 scouts in the enemy base. Like, if I was Marine Lord right now, I'd be a little bit puzzled because you just don't see Roos do this anymore. It's an extra 70 food that you probably don't need because by the time you're getting the 4th scout out in your build, you know, you've either chosen to delay your feudal age or you've already got pretty much all the bounty on the map. And you can see you got a lot of the bounty. Mister got 350, and it is going to be pro scouts. What? Okay, this is actually a really big deal. Like, you just do not see pro scouts anymore. For the Rus, especially, a Civ that used to always get it, it never happens anymore. The only Civs you see getting pro scouts at the moment is Delhi, because they get it for free. And sometimes you'll occasionally see a French player do it because it's cheaper. It's incredibly rare to see the Rus go for it now, though. Oh, man, this is going to be exciting. Of course, he did have to go on for a little bit extra gold to be able to afford it. He's also going to have the ability to expend knights at an early point if he chooses. It could be that he's looking for a quick castle, though. This could be kind of your more old-school build where you're just going to try to bring all the deer back home and float towards Castle Age fast, which could be somewhat effective here, considering that you've seen Tower of Victory. Your opponent probably feels like he can be more feudal engaged. But I love this detail at Marine Lord. Look how many people in the stone. He's going for the secondary TC play. Now that he sees 4 scouts, if he's quick about this, he can drop the TC on this deer stack over here. And you can see that Mister's thoughts is that he's going for the second TC. I need to take away for the closest deer. I actually think because you haven't seen any military units at all, and you've just scouted out no military production buildings, you can afford to be a bit more greedy and go for a long TC out here that would secure berries, deer, and the sacred site, all in one swoop. And off Mister goes. Okay, let's be real here. Next level brain right now would be if he drops the deer and then goes back for another group. Just to try, like, basically just to take away any TC value. But he's not willing to risk it for the biscuit. The issue for Mister is I think he's running out of sheep fairly fast at home. So if he doesn't bring the deer back ASAP, he's going to dry up. And you don't want to be on berries. I am waiting for the day we get to see someone just kind of confidently drop the deer off away from their original spawn site. And then like double down on gathering resources and taking them away from their opponent. Because like, you know, if you drop, for example, 4 deer in this tree line here, and then you come back for the rest of the remaining deer, there's no way that the Marine Lord says, oh yeah, he's dropped the deer in here, I'll drop the TC in the Cell Forest. It's just not going to happen. For a start, like, you know, no one does that, right? That's variance play, that's amazing. For another thing, you don't want to drop a TC in the middle of a Stealth Forest because you can't see anything. Like, if you want to see what limited vision looks like, go drop a TC in the middle of a Stealth Forest and get back to me. You can't see a single thing. And Mister's still going for more scouts, up to 7. My God. I actually don't remember the last time I saw a Rus player go up to 7 scouts with pro scouts. It's been so long. Like, seriously, no one does this. For those wondering why, they nerfed this tech. This tech used to be a lot cheaper, but now pro scouts cost you 350 resources total. And you can see the reaction out of Marine Lord. He's actually going pro scouts himself. But he's going to be heavily delayed. And in the meantime, love what Mister done here. He didn't go back for the remaining stack on this deer. He split it up to make sure there wasn't extra value on the northern side. And it looks like Marine Lord wasn't willing to gamble on that northern side anyway. He was kind of paranoid that a threat's coming. So instead he goes for a safer TC, which will at least secure him a second wood line. And of course still gets him that sacred site. So we should probably talk about why like having this TC near the sacred site is important here. Because I did say that with the Delhi, the reason they're going to be good on this map is because you get a sacred site for free. But if you recall, I also said as long as they are not against cavalry-based civs. And the reason why Marine Lord has to kind of take this more contained and insured approach to his TC placement is that he is up against a cavalry civ. The Rus can easily just go straight into knights. Of course, instead, he went straight into Castle Age, which means Rus are going to be straight into cavalry with the double archery range into horse archers. So this is the right play made by Marine Lord. Does mean he's going to be lagging behind heavily in his tech up, though. I mean, I've just got to give it to him. Like, pro scouts are dead, right? This build is dead. Nobody does it. I don't know what to say to this one. Like, I don't know if it's optimal. Okay, so here's the thing. I don't know if I would say that like Pro Scouts is optimal or not, right? In general, but the reason it's so good here is because of that detail. What is something I say a lot that is important? What have I been like preaching to you guys is going to be important in the next step into finding like the greats in ARE4? Gameplay variance, right? Taking a less optimal route because it's unexpected. What he done here is he played off the fact that there was limited vision coming out because Delhi just can't, right? Like, you're on high view, you go 2 scouts, sure, but like you're going to be outmassed on scouts, so you're already going to be friend, and it's hard to get vision. This is just really smart play. And, you know, if he was to do this 10 times in a row, this would be a bad play, right? If Mr. had always done this play, he probably gets blocked out, he gets taken out because he only went for scouts and no military aggression, and he castle age rushed. But because it's unexpected, it works. It's the same reason why, you know, let's say you're a poker player and you've been, like, playing aces and kings and everything correctly, and you've been, like, getting the expected outcome, and then you play, I don't know, a 2-9 offsuit hand the same way you would aces and kings. Because you've always been playing aces and kings that way, your opponent would logically think, oh, he's got aces and kings and fold. That's what's happened here. Like, because of the way that he was kind of expecting Mr. to play, he didn't go to punish a pro scouts build. And as a result, Mr. got to get to Castle Age for free. It's actually so incredibly effective. And now he's going to get a lot more out of this. Remember that Mr., he got a lot of bounty already. He's going to snipe down the ball. There's still a second ball on the map. Wait, is there? Or did he already take it? Oh, interesting. No, there's definitely a second ball. I think it's just been aggroed. Because he had 350 before we were looking at balls. I don't know where second Piglet is. There. Oh. I don't know if that was Mr. or Marine Lord, but whoever actually aggroed this ball is dirty. So you guys might notice that there's an icon missing on the map. Because this ball was previously aggroed, it doesn't register on the map. It is still here. I think, I've got a feeling Marine Lord done this. It's hidden in the forest, so you're never going to spot it. And now we get that TC. We talked about the possibility, but man, I love this build from Mr. He's just taken the order of what the Roost will do and mixed it up completely. And the cool thing, by the way, he went so many scouts that he actually has a front line for the horsemen, for the horse archers. And Marine Lord's reaction says it all. He didn't even suspect that it was the Greek god. Yes, this is Mr. And yes, you are in for a firm disciplining, Mr. Marine Lord. Horse archers pushing back. Movement in, the wall low. Mr. is using the relics aggressively. I am loving every part of this so far. Oh my, and I love that Marino's like, this is the first time I've ever tried to do this building. Guys, this is why people think Tower Victory sucks, because they go up against this. Okay, now, actually, like, this is almost like a live, like, kind of introspect moment, because what Marine Lord in the chat. Marine Lord, I was just saying that the reason that this is so effective is because it's gameplay variance. Because no one does it, and he hasn't done it, you wouldn't expect him to do it. Is that why the Pro Scouts build worked? Because you don't suspect it, right? You didn't do anything to prep for a guy not building any military and going mass scouts. Because you just don't see it anymore. And on a map like Highview, it's harder to see as well. Oh. Just like Marino's gonna have to go for the reserve berries first instead. Interesting. Marino says he thinks that Pro Scouts, Fast Scouts is very good versus this particular strat. I agree, but like, he begun doing this before you even built the Tower of Victory, or at least he had 4 scouts out. I guess you could argue he can go for an extra scout without like that, you know, requiring Pro Scouts. But I do just love the way that Mr. weaved his way through this game. Like, this is very, very crafty on so many levels. He's still wheeling around extra relics. It's a 5 relic game. And he's like, I don't need the gold trickle. I'm just gonna like threaten you with wallows the whole time. Oh man, I love watching this guy. Every time that I get to see Mr. it's a treat. I'm glad he's back training some more. I've missed the guy. Old school Castle Age Rush Pro Scouts Roost. If you told me I'd be watching that in August of 2022. I would have laughed in your face. least if you told me I was going to be watching that between two top 10 players, I'd laugh in your face. Oi, oi, oi. And now, I wouldn't be surprised if we start to get a proxy base coming out from Mr. He could think about maybe getting a cheeky little bit of siege if you want to crawl in slowly. He could even think about just kind of starting to save up, right? Go for raids with the Horse Archers and think about going Imp. I don't think there's a rush for that for him, though. He can just take the good fights in the meantime. And, well, this is the annoyance from Marine Lord. He's got these efficient archers with an extra 20% attack speed. It counts for nothing if you can't reach your opponent, though. It's one of those sad situations where you really, really wish, really wish that you had Force March already. We're only at the beginning of Castle Age, and so far, it looks like Marine Lord has not researched anything in the blacksmiths. Whoops. Trade outs coming in. Saint's Blessing actually making this somewhat decent for Mr. right now. Still a pricey fight to take, an unneeded one at that. But it feels like he wanted to punish the tech up that came out. Unable to really do that, so it's going to be pushed back. Good reaction out of Marine Lord. And I love the fact that neither of you knew that it was the other one. So for those who are just tuning in, 40 Argos is indeed Marine Lord, and I is indeed Mr. But they had no clue at the time. These Horse Archers are still a nuisance simply because Marine Lord can't choose where he fights. That's what the Lancers could change. That's what these keeps could change. I actually like the choice to go into keeps, especially considering when compounded defender. Some players wait too long to get it down, but not him. Wait. Oh, no. Wait, that's not. Oh, God, that's not a Delhi keep. That's a Roost keep. Oh, no. And Marine Lord can't do anything about it because there's too many Horse Archers left. Oh, no. He's getting castle dropped. There's not enough people here to clean up the villages either. Now, keep in mind that Marine Lord's village count is a lot bigger. And this is going to hurt Mr. But this keep drop's going to give a staging point. However, is it going to go up? Is the question mark right now. This is way too tight. The lance has been ignored. The Horse Archers aren't dealing with it. Oh, no. A doubtful castle appears. Oh, no. Mr. right now is having a moment where he's like, I'm definitely behind on villagers, but do I just pull another bunch of villagers to finish it? He's stroking his chin, not sure. Oh, good lord. And the longer he waits to delete it, the less stone he's getting back in his bank. We are 18 minutes into this game, and it's delivered more than what most hour-long games deliver. You know, the fact that neither of you knew who the other was is exactly why I think Anon mode should be implemented in ranked ladder games. This made it so much better. Because all I'm seeing is like, if I knew it was you, I wouldn't have done this keep drop. If I knew it was you, I wouldn't have tried this weird tower victory. No, I don't want that. I want you to not know who you're up against. Oh, absolutely fantastic. And Mr. like, I'm really puzzled by the lack of delete key here. I think Mr. needs to get a keyboard sponsor at this stage because instead of returning his money, he just lost 800 stone. Oi, oi, oi. And now Marine Lord has to be feeling very confident in this game. You would have gotten 50 stone? Well, if you delete it at the end, yeah. If you delete it at the start. Okay, yeah, fair enough. Oh dear, oh dear. What a absolute mess this game is so far, though. And yeah, that is fair. It did buy you a lot of time. However, the problem with buying time in this situation is like, it's kind of like if I say, oh no, the lake has flooded. The village is going to be overrun with water. And then I put up like a nice little 5 feet wall. That'll hold it back. It's like, yeah, it's going to hold it back for a little bit. But then when it comes through, it's going to be even stronger. Okay, 5 feet rules under. You put up a 12 feet wall. Like, yeah, that'll hold it back. It will, but eventually, instead of having a slight leakage, you're going to have a little tsunami coming at you. Dude, I love having the players in chat smack talking each other. Mr. trying to argue that scores is all that matters. Well, let's see how you use that score. Looks like he's actually going in for Saints Reach. I actually like this. So underrated, especially at this stage of the game. But this dive in feels underwhelming right now. Not really finding any clear target he was looking for. He came in on the TC. I think what Maristo was hoping is that he was going to find farms set up back here, but no such luck. Farms have not been set up at all by Marine Lord. He's still floating on static resources, limited ones, in fact. And my god, is that a massacre. That is not the trade you want. Way too many horse archers going down there. Way too little value actually found. Meanwhile, in the center, Marine Lord just being an absolute pain in the ass for just a few of these lancers, a few of these archers. No textiles either. Looks like we are finally into Forced March territory, which is a really big deal here, actually. Wait, is he prepping? Okay, no time soon. We're still a few minutes out. But when it arrives, it'll be a big deal, just because these archers that had the lack of new ability to counter horse archers won't have that issue anymore. And now we'll see this farm set up. And, well, Mister, seems you were a minute too early and looking to the wrong TC, baby. Because we're talking village fortresses now. Marine Lord says, 2 TC effective, not good enough. 3 TC, not good enough. 4 TC sounds pretty good, though. And probably more to come. He could even drop a keep south side on the stone just to get more down the line. Seeing the south side. Looks like Mister's going to try and come around here. It's 5 TCs. Oh, wait. Did I miss another keep? Ooh. Wait, where's the other keep? Oh! Oh! Hello! I mean, that one was actually quite subtle. And it also does get the stone outcropping, so 5 TC for the moment, but I think 6 TC soon, yes? In the meantime, Mister has to just go. He has to find pressure here. I just feel like even if he gets 18 villages, it's not going to be good enough. The eco difference, the escalation is a big, big problem. At least idle a decent amount of the backline of Marine Lord. However, front side, I'm concerned that, yeah, your TC ain't lasting long, son. Trebuchet's wheeling in. Now, luckily for Mister, Marine Lord apparently needs to go to an optician's because he can't see it all. But it's okay. He's going to have his specs on soon. Outpost is being built up, so the Trebuchet will be able to see. In the meantime, best thing Mister can do is just torch down TC and get out. He needs to be fast, though, because this army is quick on his ass here. And remember, the archers will beat out horse archers. And wow, I mean, Mister's willing to commit. I have my doubts on if it's worth, though. He's got a lot of knights here, and he's approaching a choke point where only half of them will be able to fight. These trades are definitely not favoring Mister. And the only way this feels good is if Mister behind this is getting a tech up or saving for a tech up. But the only thing that Mister's got plenty of is stone. And judging by the way that he last used a lot of his stone, I don't think I want to see him with a lot of stone. It didn't work very well last time. Okay, well, at least this keep won't be killed. That's plus side. At least not quickly. The Trebuchet is slowly coming. And looks like his army is slowly being cleaned up. Maganel. Surprise! Oh, that damage. Half the HP of the horse archers insta-gone. Second shot doesn't come out in time, so good reaction by Mister. Archers are going to be pushed back. But guess what? Another Maganel! Good dodge, Mister. We'll be able to clean up the archers, but let's keep in mind Marine Lord, like, this has been a pretty cheap army to keep an expensive army busy. Also, he does have Military Academy coming soon. That's where we'll see that escalation. And there's no denying that eco-wise, like, this is a lead still for Marine Lord. In fairness, it's closer than it appears, because remember that Mister did get 5 relics, and he has got the 20% additional that you get from gathering wood. So if you look at the income per minute, you can see that actually, like, they're contending in some of these departments. Food is definitely a big problem for Mister, though. He only really has started to flesh out his farmlands now. He's still playing off of berries on the backside, but more or less everything else has been dried up now. Walls. Mister says, where do you think you're going? Marine Lord says, back to my keep where I have plenty of farm rooms. Mr. is doing a really good job of actually just keeping Marine Lord down and away from PopCap. I'm a little bit concerned that because Marine Lord still hasn't got like keeps in key locations on his flanks and walls fully completed, he's still exposed. I think he knows this as well. That's why he's trying to get the wall on the north side, is so that he could focus his attention south. But both sides are still open. And that is going to be a frustration that you do need to address quickly here. That being said, this army is quickly rebuilding. It feels like every time Mr. should have a good flank attack coming in, Marine Lord has just replaced the cheap crap that defended last. And it delays him from actually reaching the eco that Mr. kind of needs to snipe here. Meanwhile, Marine Lord is slowly getting better bang for buck out of things like these trebuchets. No, Mr. don't move them. Just let them heal each other. That's the real BM there. Just have his trebuchet pointlessly attacking it the entire time. Marine Lord, meanwhile. Are we looking towards the wood? Maybe towards the stone would be a good move here as well. Just get another keep down here, as well as in the center. And then there's not really anywhere that Mr. can raid in. He's blocked off on every front at that point. For the time being, south side is still very exposed, though. Trebs are now wheeling out. A lot of Trebs as well. Mr. up to 4. Make quick work of these keeps. Marine Lord. Maybe that's why he didn't want to go for additional keeps. Just feels like if he invests too much in it, you know, it's going to delay other timings, right? Instead of gathering stone, you could be gathering food, wood, etc. And if you delay your timings, you're going to allow this counter to come out to your static defenses. Counter that you can now see. Push in. Mass cavalry versus mass archers. This kind of looks like a small brain composition. It's worked so far for Marine Lord. Let's see if it works this time. Saint's Blessing's going to be there. Keep trying to defend him, but trebuchets are hitting hard and fast. Horse archers making quick work of the straggling troops, and it does feel like Marine Lord is at risk of giving over a lot of ground here. Keep repairs going to come out, but remember that he's not got much stone in reserve. Meanwhile, Mr. looking to rectify mistakes made with keeps of past has saved 2,000 stone. He's ready to go for a Congo line of keeps in here. Just needs to get the staging point. And one of those points might open up soon. He's finished off the last of the repair crew. Trebuchets just about to set the keep on fire and put it into a pile of stone. And all of a sudden a retreat's going to come out. Marine Lord can't really hold this area anymore. He's content for the moment due to the fact it's only horse archers, but he knows what's going to be coming next. More knights, and that's where Marine Lord probably needs to transition. And you can see he's prepping that. More lancers being pushed to the field in higher quantities. Not thinking cavalry's, you know, the thing that he can counter anymore without his own. For good reason. Like, the crossbowmen weren't really cutting it when he tried to add them in, and archers, of course, are not going to fare well up against the knights. But he still wants the archers because with force march especially, you can get in position to prevent these horse archers from kiting you. And that's why it's important that you have a nice kind of healthy composite of the lancers plus archers. Because if you just have lancers, all that will happen here is Mr. will just start stepping back, and his horse archers do 14 damage each. Half the damage is going through your armor. You'll quickly down your lancers before you can even touch your target. Something that does not struggle to touch his target is, of course, these trebuchets that are definitely starting to pay for themselves. Secondary keep being struck down. Fight's going to be forced. Lancers are going to wiggle in. Crafty little bugger that he is. Marine Lord turns around and goes to the premium target here. Willing to exchange a few lancers in exchange for almost the equal number of trebuchets. And it's a pretty good trade if you can get this third one. Yeah, so that ends up being 2,250 resources in exchange for 960. Good trade. Very good trade. However, we do then have to add the 800 tacks of stone on top of that. Why is that 800 tacks of stone important? Well, it just shut down some farms. It pushed Marine Lord further back. And it forces him to once again invest in keeps in this area that he knows are not going to last long. But right now, he just needs to buy time. Marine Lord does have the military numbers right now. And has the eco to back it up. You can see how big the difference is. Almost 50 villages between them. But yet still, Mr. seems to be getting decent fights. Mangonel's now ambushing the Archer Battalion. Uh-oh, they're in trouble. Lancers target the Trebuchet when really they should be going after the Mango. And Archer's now forced to retreat. Nice snipe out the Springles, but that does mean they're going to be sacrificed in turn. Trebuchets at least get cleaned up. This is now going to slow down Mr. Marine Lord looks like he should be able to hold. Static defense is far too strong for Mr. to dive, but Mr. of course able to quickly replace his losses here as Horse Archers don't really run up a high bill. Well, Marine Lord realizes this is becoming a little bit stagnant. He realizes he's been hoarding a lot of gold. He realizes that he's not Smaug. He's terrible at doing the voice of Smaug, in fact. So instead, he just decides to go back to his French accent and build elephants en masse. I don't know what elephants have to do with... Well, I guess actually France owned a big chunk of Africa, so it kind of fits. But these are not African elephants. Oh no. These are Indian war elephants. And this is something that right now, Mr. has no solution to. Because Mr.'s been massing horse archers. He's adding some knights in, but these knights are going to struggle in small quantities to reach the elephants. Especially if Marine Lord gets up to 5 or 6 of these. More keeps going down. Oh no. Wait. No, he's got gold back at home. What? Wow. Okay, Mr. All right, bud. Let's talk about this. So I'm gonna go out on analysis mode me and say that this GG, although it seems a bit premature from your perspective, like you're losing map control when you see the keeps on the flank. So you feel like the map is shrinking, and you've missed your win condition because you massed horse archers and it didn't work. Is that about right? I don't know if he's still here. But it does seem... So like, I mean, because I'm going to try and address it, because it does seem like a premature GG. Like, there's no clear element of, like, what happened there. But I think it's a case of, like, because you're in on the horse archers and you struggle to get scalability, the game kind of seems done. It was 100 supply versus 200 supply. That's true, Marine Lord, but he can't see the supply, right? He might feel it, but he can't see it. It was 4 AM. I was trying to finish the game fast. Ah, got it. Got it. I want to go to sleep. There we go. So, yeah. In fairness, you were up against the ropes. I agree. God's sake, Marine Lord. Yeah, I just want to address that because I know, like, in these type of games, like, I'll come back to the chat, it's instantly gonna have people like, why did you GG? It's like, I just want to, like, get the opinion. I figured it was gonna be like a combination of, you know, you mentioned earlier it was late, and then also you can kind of see that the game is starting to not favor you. Although Marine Lord is like your typical filthy corner camper that's trying to get his hands on an attack chopper in Call of Duty, because although he has this big lead, he's not really coming out. I'll send you to sleep in Heidelberg. Yes, mister. Give him the smack.